Have you ever done something so stupid it made you question your sanity? I was 12 years old when I watched Despicable Me for the first time, and it inspired me, but not for the reason you're thinking. You see, as I watched Gru provide for the 3 girls that later became his daughters, I realized my purpose in life, to provide for my family, because at that point, it was just me, my mom, and my 3 younger sisters. And my mom was working so much that we didn't even get to see her, because even on the days she had off, she had to take advantage of them to catch up on sleep. So I basically fulfilled the role of my sister's father figure. I was 14 when I started earning around $5 an hour for makeshift DIY daycare, but I always hated how little I had to provide my siblings with. Fast forward to when I finally graduated from college. My friend helped me get a job in his dad's firm as a paralegal, and I was making around $70,000 a year. So using the signing bonus, I moved into an even worse area than the one I grew up in, because I wanted to send home as much money as possible. By cutting down expenses to the bare minimum, I was able to send home over 60% of my paycheck every month. My mom was able to finally move out of the 2-bedroom apartment, and my sisters all had a better life than me. She'd send me photos of all of them going on holiday for the first time, and whenever I felt like sleeping in or calling in sick to work, I would look through all of our saved media on WhatsApp. It was infinite motivation. And a few months into my job, my youngest sister Lily, 16, fell ill. Apparently she had a chest infection, and my mom wanted to borrow some money to get her seen. Cool. I had a little in savings, so I simply upped the amount I sent home for the month. But over the next while, more and more expenses started to pop up. She'd crash her car, needed to pay for a school trip, needed to get housing renovations. It got to the point where I had $0 left in my savings account and was eating ramen noodles for almost every meal, all whilst working 60 hours a week. I wanted to keep going, but I knew if I didn't cut back a little, then there would be no money left for anyone. So that weekend, I drove to my mom's house. It was the first time I had been since I graduated. The first thing I noticed was the Mitsubishi car in the driveway. Meanwhile, I drove a 2010 Ford Focus. I tried to overlook it, not wanting my ego to get to me. And as soon as I opened the front door, my second youngest sister, Margot, 17, ran up to me. "So you have any gifts for us?" I thought it was a joke, but when I shook my head, she rolled her eyes like she was actually annoyed. When I walked inside, my mom greeted me with a hug. "Thank you for everything you've done for us, son. We love you." I hugged her back and felt a wave of pride wash over me. But like I said, if I didn't cut back then, there would be no money left for anyone. So I did what I had to do. I told my mom I would have to start sending home 40% of my paycheck home instead of 60%. Her face went ghost white, but I figured it was just the fear of losing money that being poor gives you. So when I explained, I expected her to be understanding. Instead, her eyes were glued to the ground and her cheek rested against her hand, like she was extremely fed up with me. "Okay," was the only word she said before getting up and escorting me outside. "Mom, I'm really sorry. It's only temporary. I just need to make sure I'm eating properly." I said okay, she interrupted, before slamming the door in my face. The next morning, I was going to individually text my sisters with an apology, and that's when I noticed they had all unfollowed me. I was instantly filled with rage, but not towards them, towards myself, because I was ashamed. I thought it was my fault for not working hard enough, for not getting a better job. So that same day, I put all of my non-work clothes on Depop and bought the cheapest clothes I could find to replace them. Gave every penny of what I sold to my mom in the hopes that she would see that I really do care about her. I even borrowed some money from friends to buy my sisters new iPhones and laptops. But it wasn't until 2 months later that my mom finally texted me back. She sent me a photo of Lily in the hospital. She was covered in bandages and looked really beat up. Turns out she had gotten in a car accident. The next text was her begging for money to pay the hospital bills and get her better treatment. I just stared at my phone. I had nothing left to give, literally nothing. I texted back asking what happened to the thousands of dollars I had already spent. She was typing for 20 minutes and ended up not answering. Well, I figured if I didn't have any money to send, then I at least owed her my time. So I drove to the house, expecting at least one of my sisters to be there. But when I opened the door, I was wrong, because my entire family was there, including Lily, who was running around the place and perfectly healthy. That's when it finally hit me. The photo was photoshopped, and this entire time, I had been scammed by my own mother. Soon, she'd be the one to pay. Full story on channel, link below.